Vampire Diaries fans, get ready! It's almost time for Legacies. But before you get into the new show, there may be some things that you don't know about the cast. Stay tuned to find out who won't be making the transition from the originals to Legacies. Are you new around here? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to The Things for more great videos like this.
Goodbye, Hope.
Now on to 10 things you didn't know about the cast of the CW TV show Legacies. Body shaming. You might think that famous people are all pretty and perfect. After all, a lot of them do make their careers from being extremely beautiful and talented. But fame comes with a dark side. You are always in the public eye, and when that happens, no one is safe from judgment, not even celebrities. Danielle Rose Russell, who will play Hope Mikaelson in Legacies, knows this firsthand. You may look at her and see how beautiful she is, but she actually has been body shamed by fans. At one point, the shaming got so intense that she had to take to her Instagram to release a statement. Quote, "I will rarely address this, but it's extremely upsetting that people are calling me unworthy, a bad actress, or degrading me because I have curves," end quote. She continued with, quote, "My petite curves make me different from a lot of actresses out there, but I don't look at them as anything less than beautiful," end quote. When you look at such a gorgeous actress, it's hard to believe that people would say mean things about her looks. But even the prettiest of people have haters. We're happy that Danielle didn't let the haters get to her and was able to keep on shining. Not a newbie. Since we're on the topic of Danielle, let's keep going for a second. You may only know Danielle for her role in the originals, which landed her the job on Legacies, but Danielle is no newbie to the acting scene. In fact, she was in the movie Aloha with huge stars like Bradley Cooper, Emma Stone, John Krasinski, Rachel McAdams, and Alec Baldwin. Before she broke into the big scene, she was honing her acting skills by appearing in a number of commercials and small projects before she got her big break. But before she even started acting, she actually had a different job. She began modeling at a young age, and that's how she eventually broke into the acting world. It's not much of a surprise that she is a star. Her parents were both stars in their own right as well. Her mother was a rockette, and her father was a singer. With genes like that, it's almost as if Danielle had no choice but to be famous. Her role in Legacies will be one of her first leading roles. After seeing her in the originals, we are super excited to see more of her and see how she does with a bigger role. Klaus won't be there. For a lot of us, Klaus was one of our favorite of the Vampire Diaries characters. He started out as being a completely evil character, but over time he evolved, and we got to see the motives behind the things that he did.
Family makes you weak.
And we grew to at least be able to stand him. He was one of our favorite characters to love/hate, and that feeling only grew on the originals. But if you were hoping to see him on Legacies, then don't hold your breath. Klaus won't be on the show. During a Comic-Con panel, Joseph Morgan, the actor who plays Klaus, accidentally revealed that Klaus won't be on the show. He actually even said that Klaus probably won't make it past the end of the originals. That might be a hard pill to swallow, but for fans who really loved Klaus, there may be a glimmer of hope. Though Joseph did reveal that Klaus probably won't be making a return, he did say that it all depends on how the originals ends. So if Klaus has a somewhat happy ending in the originals, there is a chance that we may see more of him. So keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best for Mr. Klaus. Nina Dobrev probably won't be back. Speaking of old characters, there is another character that probably won't be back, and that's Elena Gilbert. Elena was the main character in the Vampire Diaries. At the beginning of the series, the show centered around her love triangle with the Salvador boys. But eventually, Nina Dobrev, the actress who plays Elena, decided to leave the show early. Rumor has it that she left because she split from one of the other actors on the show. But nothing's been confirmed. Anywho, it has been revealed that Legacies has an open door policy and that anyone from any of the franchise shows can come back when they want. That is great to hear, but given how Nina left the Vampire Diaries so abruptly, we doubt she'll be coming back to the franchise anytime soon. Though Elena may not be back in person, there will be a mention of her character throughout about Legacies. Elena will still be living in Mystic Falls during the time frame of Legacies and running a medical practice from the town, so we'll still hear a little bit about her storyline. It's sad to think that we may never see Elena on our screens again, but we are happy that we'll still see more of the other characters in Mystic Falls. Caroline may be back. There are so many characters that we fell in love with on the Vampire Diaries. One of the most lovable characters was Caroline Forbes. She was the police chief's daughter, and for a while, she was one of the most annoying people on the show. But as the show went on, she became a great friend to Elena and a solid member of the show. Caroline definitely had a winding journey on the original Vampire Diaries show. She went from being in love with the town's resident werewolf to having a love affair with Klaus. Fans were completely enthralled with her journey and how she went from cheerleader to vampire. She went from sweet girl to absolute warrior. So it's only natural that fans would want to know if Caroline would be making an appearance on Legacies. Will Caroline fans? The answer is yes. Matt Davis, who plays Alec Saltzman on the show, revealed that Caroline will definitely be making an appearance.
Oh my god, Rick, that would be just amazing.
Candace King, the actress who portrays Caroline, loves the character so much so, it would only make sense that she would have fun playing the role one more time. Plus, she and Matt are great friends, so she still has that connection to the show. Peyton Alex Smith. Along with all of the old favorites, there will definitely be some new faces added to the mix of people on Legacies. One of those people is Peyton Alex Smith. Peyton will play the role of Raphael. Raphael is described as a person who is extremely charismatic, but also dangerous. He is a newly turned werewolf, and he comes from a troubled past due to his childhood filled with abuse and anger, but he still has a loyal heart of gold. He tries his best to do the right thing, but is often sidetracked. Peyton has been acting for a while, but he's only just recently begun landing big roles. Most recently, he was on the BET series The Quad, and he was also in the drama Detroit. Before he was an actor, he went to Florida A&M University and graduated with a bachelor's degree. If he looks familiar to you, but you haven't seen The Quad, then you may recognize him from his cameo on the series Luke Cage. We love seeing new faces, and we're super excited to see how Peyton does on the show. We're also excited to see how this new character fits into the world of vampires and werewolves. Kaylee Bryant. Speaking of new faces, there are more that we still need to cover, like Kaylee Bryant. While Kaylee isn't completely new, you may remember her from the Vampire Diaries. She played Josette Josie Saltzman.
Oh, who's hungry?
I am!
Josette is one of Alaric's twin daughters. Josette has a very strange history. She was the daughter of Joe Laughlin and Alaric, but Joe was stabbed while she was pregnant with the twins. While Joe passed away from this, the twins were transferred into Caroline Forbes' womb. See, complicated. But while you may know a lot about Josie, you probably don't know much about the actress who plays her. Kaylee first starred in the movie Mary Loss of Soul, an indie film which premiered in 2014. After that, she had a few appearances on the Disney Channel series Kicking It. Before she was an actress, she modeled. With looks like that, her former career is not surprising at all. She started modeling when she was a small child and appeared in several Ralph Lauren campaigns up until she was 10 years old. By that time, she had started acting and was well on her way to stardom. She also appeared on The Real O'Neills, Criminal Minds, an American Horror Story. And now that she's on Legacies, the road only looks brighter. Quincy Foust. Naturally, because Hope will be attending a new school, there will need to be lots of new kids on the show. One of those new kids will be MG, played by Quincy Foust. MG is a popular kid at the school. He's also known for being extremely brilliant. He's a kid who has spent his time putting on shows for everyone else. He is well-mannered and kind so that he doesn't embarrass his parents. He basically never allows himself to fully be himself because he wants to come across as the perfect son. Lots of girls are in love with MG, but unfortunately, not the one that he wants. And you didn't hear it from us, but it's Lizzie Saltzman. MG spends most of his time yearning for the approval of others, but very rarely can he get it from the people who he admires most. Quincy is most widely recognized from his role in The Goldbergs. He played Taz Money and was a regular on the show. He then landed a role in the movie Logan alongside Hugh Jackman, which is no easy feat. And before all of that, Quincy was in the television comedy The Kicker. That was one of his earliest acting roles. If you haven't seen any of the things that we've mentioned, but still think that Quincy looks familiar? Then you may have seen him in Disney's KC Undercover. He guest starred on the show in 2016. Or if you're sitting there thinking that Quincy doesn't look familiar at all, don't worry. You'll be seeing a lot of his face. Matt Davis. Okay, we're done talking about the new faces on the show. Let's get back to some of the old faithful cast members. One of those people is Matt Davis. You may know him better as Alec Saltzman. Alec was originally just a supporting character in the Vampire Diaries, but he eventually became one of the leading characters. Originally, he was a teacher at Mystic Falls High School. He came to Mystic Falls to find the vampire who he believed harmed his wife, but eventually he found out that she, in fact, left him on her own accord to become a vampire. It was also revealed that Elena was his daughter. Alaric's main claim to fame was that he had the Gilbert ring, which allowed him to return from death. Unfortunately, he used the ring too much and ended up developing an alter ego that was quite dark. His dark side hated vampires and hunted them. In Legacies, he'll be one of the principal characters on the show. The actor who plays Alec, Matt Davis, is a seasoned actor. You may recognize him from one super popular movie starring Reese Witherspoon. Want to make a guess on what we're talking about? Legally Blonde? Hello? That's right, our own brooding Alaric was actually in Legally Blonde. Bet you never would have guessed that. Matt Donovan is back. You may have gotten wrapped up in Elena's love affairs with Stefan and Damon, but we can't forget that she had a relationship before any of that even started, and it was with none other than Matt Donovan. Mystic Falls' resident good guy. Matt's character went through a lot. His sister passed away pretty early on in the series, which was pretty traumatic. And then she came back to life, and the whole thing was one big mess. Even though Matt was pretty hopelessly tragic, we all still loved him, which is why we're so excited that he's coming back in Legacies. In Legacies, Matt is a sheriff. The townspeople think that he's a little crazy because he's always talking about conspiracy theories and vampires. But if you know anything about the real Mystic Falls, then you know he has a reason to be concerned. Zach Rorick plays Matt on the show. You may know Zach from Friday Night Lights. He played the character Cash. He was also on the soap opera As the World Turns, so you might recognize him from that. What you probably didn't know about Zach, though, is that he dated one of his Vampire Diaries co-stars. Oh, you would like to know who? Well, we'll tell you. None other than Natalie Kelly. That's it for 10 things you didn't know about the cast of CW TV show Legacies. Were you surprised by anything on the list? Let us know in the comments.